I don't know what this is, but it's kind of hot.
Did you grow up during the Flash video era like me, logging into YouTube or Newgrounds and watching these crazy stick fighting animations that were all over the place? Have you found yourself rewatching insane fighting scenes in anime over and over again? Has tool-assisted speedrunning ever caught your attention, but you found it too complicated or time-consuming to do yourself? Do you remember staring in awe at that pure, unapologetically over-the-top action while the euphoric hype floods through your brain that nothing else has been able to fully capture?
Get some help.
There have been countless video games over the years that have attempted to translate this specific feeling into an interactive form, from small browser games to big-budget AAA titles. While these games are fun, for sure, they just haven't been able to replicate the essence of these stick fights because of the inhuman level of speed and split-second decision-making that would be necessary on the player's part. Well, what if I told you that there's a new game out there that not only replicates this feeling you've been trying to recapture in your life, but is also accessible to anyone, regardless of their skill level in fighting games? Welcome to a very special episode of You Should Play, a show where I shove my favorite lesser-known video games into your face and tell you exactly why you should play them. I'm your host, MisspelledMoos, and today we're going to be talking about an extremely exciting upcoming game that has captured my and my audience's attention, while sparking a resurgence in the fighting game modding community that hasn't been seen since Mugen and Rivals of Aether. That's right, today we're talking about Your Only Move is Hustle. Before we begin, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for all things indie and horror gaming. This is a small channel, so every interaction raises my frame advantage against YouTube's algorithms. There are other ways to experience and support my work, but more about that at the end of the video. First, let's talk about what kind of game this actually is, because it's extremely different from traditional fighters. The objective is still exactly what you'd expect. Smack the other person around until their health bar reaches 0 while trying to avoid getting hit yourself. The main twist comes from the gameplay itself, where button inputs like combo attacks, special abilities, and even movement have been ripped out and replaced with a turn-based choice system. Your Only Move is Hustle is played in turns that are dictated by the frames of each player's actions, pausing the screen as soon as either player is able to make another selection. Using all of the visual information at your disposal, your job is to tactically outsmart the opponents in order to land a hit and combo the hell out of them, which we'll talk about more in a moment. Not stopping at giving you control over yourself, the game adds an extra layer of strategy and simplicity by allowing you to see and test your opponent's available inputs as well. This allows you to predict what's going to happen if certain moves are used against each other, thanks to the intuitive prediction system. Using all of these tools at your disposal, the game becomes a dance of aggression and defense, as both players try to predict and avoid each other's attacks while landing their own to start a combo. Perhaps the best part about this game is that combos are entirely unscripted, giving the player complete freedom to chain attacks together in whatever ways they see fit, as long as they can keep positioning, force, gravity, and directional input in mind. Aside from giving you an insane amount of freedom to fine-tune complex movements and zoning, this feature means that every fight, even every combo itself, is entirely unique, and will have you on the edge of your seat the entire time you're using them. In my talk with Ivy Sly, the developer of Your Only Move is Hustle, we discussed the inspirations behind this addictive and unique gameplay.
A long time ago, and people have noticed the similarities, but a long time ago I played a game called Tori Bash. You might be familiar with it. This turn-based physics fighting game. I was never any good at it, but later on, I started getting into Super Smash Bros. Melee, and from that, tool-assisted, you could call it speedrunning, some people say super plays, but anyway, tasks, battles, and so on, I thought were super crazy and cool. And so I started trying that out. I opened up Dolphin and started playing the game frame by frame. And I thought, this is kind of like Tori Bash. It's sort of the same deal. You're playing through slowly, and then at the end, something cool happens in real time. It all sort of came together when, I guess a couple of years ago, I was living with another Melee player. And we would do this thing. We would have what we would call frame battles, where we'd both have our controllers plugged into Dolphin, and then we'd play it frame by frame. We'd play a match of Melee frame by frame, and we'd even be like, okay, are you ready? Do you have your controls put in? And then we'd hit next frame, and
oh my gosh,
we do that for like a stock, and it'd take like 20 minutes. But at the end, you got these crazy battles. We did that, and I was like, man, this is fun. And no one, why hasn't anyone ever done this?
How do you feel about the extremely positive response to the public beta and how the game has evolved since its original launch, with everyone playing it and testing all the different things?
Man, I mean, it's amazing, but it's also overwhelming. This is a game that I made for my friend, right? Like, partially, I was thinking, we've been playing fighting games for a while, and he's someone who prefers to not really, lab stuff or put a bunch of time in practice mode. He's still good and he beats me all the time, but he has his own sort of style. It's very simple, and I'm like, I've always been annoyed. Like, you should learn some combos. So I made this game like, hey, now you don't have to go in practice mode. You can see if your next move will hit. But anyway, to answer your question though, it's been really weird. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people in my position will sympathize when I say, like, at some degree it's like, finally people are seeing what I made, but on the other hand, it's like totally outside of my like even comprehension how many people have played the game. It's weird thinking like I could go outside and see some, someone my age or maybe a little younger and be like, huh, they might have heard of my game. That's just insane. But there's also a lot of stress. Like, I never expected people to like care about balance or whatever. So, like it's crazy. There are like cowboy mains now, right? And I never thought, I never thought that there would be anyone who mained any of these characters. So I was just giving them whatever, something that I thought would look cool one time in a replay. Well, it turns out if you can teleport all over the place, you're untouchable. So there's been a lot of good and bad that's come with it. There's a lot more responsibility for me to make something good, I think, especially now that I've pivoted to selling the game. Originally, I promised it was going to be free, but I had a bunch of people, other indie devs and potential players say alike, like, you really should sell this game. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah. And I really didn't want to, but I think they're probably right. Like, I should value my work a little bit more. And so that's the excuse that I'm using.
A lot of people are saying even the $5 is not enough. They're trying to throw money at you. While it sounds complicated turning a fighting game into turn-based strategy, the developer has worked extensively to make the learning process and guides as simple as possible without sacrificing the depth in any way. Prediction shadows for both players, frame advantage and disadvantage counters, the freedom of choice to create your own strategies as you learn. Your only move as hustle is limited only by your imagination. Imagination that has given rise to the extensive modding community. Over the last few months of the game's public beta, a massive community of modders has formed around the title with the full support of the developer. Players are free to create whatever they want, from brand new custom fighters with all sorts of unbelievable abilities to game modifications that add to the style or even mechanics of the game itself. The full version hasn't even released until the day this video is posted, and already I've played dozens upon dozens of custom fighters and seen massive overhauls on the game's mechanics to support these fighters. Hell, my community and I have been building a custom fighter of our own every Monday night on my Twitch channel because we love the game so much.
People are asking. I do want to incorporate workshop eventually, but it's going to be it looks weird and hard, and I've already been talking with the mod loader guys right now, and we're sort of working some stuff out. But the way Steam does things is just so bizarre, and so we're still figuring that out. But hopefully, it should be in the game eventually. And if not, we'll try to find some reasonable alternative. But it doesn't seem like it should be impossible.
With one new fighter and a character customization system already on the way for the official release, Ivy has also given us a little sneak peek at what we could see later on in the game's post-release development.
I have an idea for another character. There's one. I was thinking it would be... so all of them so far are sort of like tropes. And I've been trying to think of a character that is like a new, really simple archetype, like the ninja or the wizard. Yeah. So what I was thinking was it would be some sort of like like beast man, almost like shapeshifter werewolf kind of guy. Maybe he's got an install, and he got big claws, right? And then you could have this archetype of like the sort of savage melee character with the more like, I don't know what you call it, like animalistic fighting style, less precise than the other characters, but more like aggressive and I don't know, crazy.
Ooh,
someone suggested awesome. Making him a charge character. That's another actual like fighting game archetype I haven't done yet. Is a character who needs to like stand in one spot for a second and then they get their really good option.
Whether you're a fan of stick fighting mayhem or have even a remote interest in fighting games, Your Only Move is Hustle is a no-brainer purchase that will provide endless hours of entertainment. There's no limit to the possibilities that this game brings, and with just how easy it is to pick up, anyone could give it a shot, especially with the absurdly cheap $5 price tag on the full version. If you're somehow not sold by this video, go check out the demo page linked in the description to try the game out for yourself. But before you go, here are some final words from Ivy to all of you watching right now.
I mean, yeah, do it, play it. I don't know, it's... If any part of it puts you off, like the UI is sort of kludgy or whatever, I do want to say that like one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I've heard about it is that it's actually quite accessible of a game. So I'm hoping that if you have trouble like with fighting game combos and execution requirements and stuff, that was in some parts a goal in making this game. And so, you know, if you've always been too afraid to play fighting games because they're hard, I definitely would encourage you to play my game, because that's a big problem that I think that it gets one step closer to solving. That's what I've heard from a lot of people too, is like it looks totally impenetrable at first, but you get the hang of it pretty quick. I just want to thank everybody for playing it. The fact that so many people are playing, and I get so many messages of people saying like, hey, like this is my favorite game ever, and it's like that is not something that I've ever been able to even fathom happening to me, right? Like I sort of stumbled upon this, it feels like, and it's almost unfair that I'm reaping this reward. So I don't know, I guess, yeah, just thank you to everybody. I'm so happy that it really warms my heart that people like the game, and I'll continue to be trying to make it as good as it can be, you know, in the coming months.
Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more indie and horror gaming content. I'm also live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. We're also doing a mega stream today to celebrate the launch of Your Only Move is Hustle, so tune into the fun at MisspelledMoos over on Twitch. Link is in the description below. I also have other social media nonsense and a Patreon where you can support my work for only $1 to get your name featured at the end of every video. Links can also be found in that description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.